Redeeming Grace Church, Pastor Josh here, and I just want to take a few minutes to share about something I'm really excited about. I've been hinting at it for a while. I want to tell you a little bit more about it. Starting at 9:15 this Sunday, January 14th, we're going to begin a study that's going to take us through the entire spring on the Great Commission. What does it look like to be disciples who make disciples? And so what I want us to do is gather together. I've got 20 copies of each of these books, and these books are resources that will help us understand and unpack what Jesus is calling us to be as disciples and how we can fulfill the Great Commission as a church. So the very first book that we'll look at this week that I'll hand out this Sunday is Understanding the Great Commission. And I'm going to have you read these 55 short pages, make some highlights, and then we'll discuss it the following week. And then I'll hand out Understanding Baptism, and then Understanding Lord's Supper, Understanding the Congregation's Authority, Understanding Church Discipline, and then Understanding Church Leadership. And when we get to the end of this, you're going to have a pretty good grasp on what it means to be a church that helps fulfill the Great Commission. How to be a church, how to find a church, how to start a church. You will be equipped in that way. That I think that will serve us all well, both at Redeeming Grace and wherever you may go, in terms of finding another church, helping to know what a good church is. Even perhaps God may call some of you to pastor a church or to go to the mission field and help start a church. I want to equip us on how to do that for our own sake, for the glory of God, and for your good as we seek to serve Jesus in the best way possible. Once we finish that, I want to work through this. Rachel Dodd is putting together materials here. This is a 90-page workbook that we work through, and what we'll do is what it says is shaping your ministry culture around disciple making. So what is it to be a disciple of Jesus? What does that actually mean according to the New Testament? And what does it look like to make disciples? How do I help disciple other people? How can I be a disciple? How can I disciple others? And how can we have a culture where we do that together, where that's just sort of normal in our church? And so we want to kind of put all of these things together for the glory of Jesus, in order that we might be who he has called us to be, and in the power of the Holy Spirit. So like I said, Rachel's going to put together packets like this that are going to be handed out soon, and this will be very interactive. We will take a deep look into what we do as a church, why we do it, how we could do it better, in order that everything would be oriented around the glory of Jesus through making disciples in the church and beyond the church. This will help us determine who we should support as missionaries, how our preaching and worship service should be structured, what kind of small groups we should and shouldn't have, how we reach out to our community. This is going to be a great study in terms of being a disciple, making disciples, being a church, and how to make churches. So I am really excited about this. I hope that you'll put in the time and effort to come at 9:15 and be equipped. Everything that is worth doing requires time and effort. And so I hope that this Sunday at 9:15, for the next several Sundays, you will join us on this journey of exploring what the scriptures have to say about being disciples, making disciples, being a church, and building the church for the glory of God.